Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Callie, and in today's video we're going to get into all of my pregnancy must-haves because I am fully pregnant. We are officially at 33 weeks, and so it's crunch time. It's time to get the house ready, all the laundry done, the dresser drawers organized, everything ready to go. And I really wanted to do this video because I find it so helpful to watch other mamas' pregnancy must-have videos to see what's working for them, because as we know, everybody is different and every pregnancy itself is different. So these are the items that have kind of helped me through both with my son and my daughter now currently, because I definitely needed a little extra help with this second pregnancy this go around. So let's go ahead and get into it. These are my pregnancy must-haves. So let's just go ahead and start in the beginning, in the first trimester. So everybody should be taking a prenatal vitamin. Whether you are trying to conceive and you know ahead of time, you can start taking these months in advance while you're trying to conceive because you want that folate already in your system. But once you find out you're pregnant, you really do need to start taking a prenatal vitamin. You know, people have been talking a lot about how you want the natural folate, which is what I found in Ritual. You don't want that folic acid, you want that natural folate that's really beneficial to your system and to your baby as well. And I love Ritual because they've combined the DHA and all the vitamins and nutrients that you really need to be getting in the first trimester. If you've experienced morning sickness, you know that it's difficult to take prenatal vitamins, and so some women choose to do the chewable gummies, which is fine. But Ritual has this little preservative tab in it, so it smells citrusy, so it doesn't make you kind of nauseous, it doesn't smell like vitamins. And they've incorporated the DHA and also the vitamin capsules into one capsule, so you're not having to take multiples. You just take 2 once a day, and it's a subscription, so it comes in the mail every month and I don't even have to worry about it. So I've been loving these this time around. And also in your first trimester, it's exhausting. I mean, you're growing a human life, and it's really tiring. With my son, my first pregnancy, I never felt better in my life. I had the clearest skin I've ever had. I've always dealt with adult acne, which is typically hormonal, yay. And then when I was pregnant with him, my face completely cleared up, was the best skin I'd ever had in my adult life. I never had any morning sickness whatsoever, was just really happy to be pregnant all the time, felt great, but I was exhausted. I mean, that's just, it comes with the territory. But this go around, I immediately knew that she was different than my first, because my face completely broke out, and I also experienced morning sickness for the first time, which was a little bit hard to take, not having to experience with the first one and then having it with the second one. I was kind of like at a loss, like, what is this and what is happening to me? And fortunately, I never threw up with my nausea. It was just a constant, like, nagging, like, nauseous feeling. You know, almost like the worst hangover ever that just will not go away, or just like you have the flu constantly. It's almost like you want to throw up, so it'll just go away, but that never happens. And also, like I said, you're exhausted. So what I have found to be super helpful is peppermint oil. So if ever I was feeling a little sick, I would just take it and just take a whiff of the peppermint. This would also be a great pick-me-up in the afternoon slump when you're really feeling tired and just run down. Sometimes it's important to just, like, if you have an office with a door, just close the door and lay your head down on the desk for like 5 minutes. But I always keep a diffuser in my office, so I would just pop a little bit of peppermint with usually some citrus oils, and it would just pick me right up. So that was always helpful for me, and it also is really great for head tension. Some people like to shy away from peppermint oil, especially in their third trimester with pregnancy. but I felt completely confident in diffusing it, and then also just, you know, every now and then just getting a whiff of it to kind of refresh my senses and kind of clear out my sinuses and everything, and just kind of wake me up and help with the nausea a whole lot. So as I mentioned, whenever, like right off the bat, whenever I found out I was pregnant, my face completely like broke out with pregnancy acne. And it wasn't just the acne, it also was very like painful. It was like dry and red and patchy and sensitive. It was just going crazy, which is not great, but I knew right off the bat that I was having some crazy adjustments in my hormones. And in that early first trimester, the placenta hasn't formed yet, so you are taking on all of those added hormones from your baby. So it makes sense that, you know, you're just having kind of like, especially if it's a girl, you're having like hormonal like overloads of those. So it was really important for me to find an all-natural kind of blemish treatment. This is actually by Natural Logic. This is their Purify Blemish Serum, and I absolutely love this. This a little goes a long way. It just comes in a little rollerball, and after cleaning in any kind of facial mist or toner that I'll use, I'll just put a little bit on and then kind of massage it in to those areas where the breakouts are, and it works so well, and it's completely natural. So also in addition to adding the blemish serum, the all natural blemish serum, I started adding a drop or two of frankincense to my moisturizer in the morning and at night, and this completely changed my skin. Just changed my skin in general. This is kind of known, frankincense is kind of known as the fountain of youth for essential oils, and it really helps to soothe the skin and provide that radiance that you really need. It just kind of calmed everything down on my face, and I couldn't believe like how much better my face was after I started using this, because I was kind of like at wit's end. I didn't really know what to do, and I was going to be extremely frustrated if I was going to have to deal with that for the entire 9 months. So this is definitely a staple in my facial like skincare routine, and it'll always be there. Now I've added it to a ton of products because it's so beneficial to the skin. Something else that is completely vital to all pregnant women and just human beings in general is hydrating. So when you are pregnant, and especially in your first trimester, you are so thirsty all the time. I could never like quench my thirst. So just having a really big water bottle at all times with you is really important. I know that there are people that are huge fans of the hydro flask because it'll keep it cold. I kind of like for my water to be at room temp, because anything that was like too hot or too cold would kind of like mess with my stomach a little bit. And then this one's also really nice because it has like the lines that count down the time of day, so I could keep track of making sure that I was keeping up with my ounces that I was supposed to be taking a day. So that was really nice to have that on there. I still all the time get so thirsty, so it's just really, really important to hydrate and keep up that hydration throughout your entire pregnancy, because towards the end it'll really help you with keeping everything hydrated. Your skin needs that elasticity, so the more moisture that you have in your skin, the more it can stretch and get ready for baby. It's just really important and completely vital to every pregnancy. So also touching on just keeping up with your skincare and making sure that you're prepped with that. Your skin is primed to stretch as much as possible for your growing belly. Any sort of belly balm or belly butter or oil, whatever you're using, just make sure that you are moisturizing it daily. And I would say, well, anytime I feel dry, I would use it 2 to 3 times a day. This is actually just one that I've made myself. I reused a jar that I had, It is actually just coconut oil, and then also I've added some frankincense because it's so beneficial to the skin, and then also lavender as well, because that's really lovely, putting this on my belly at night. Lavender is also extremely beneficial to the skin. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of all oils, if you've ever heard me talk about it. And it helps with any kind of scars or scrapes or burns or anything. Lavender is really amazing for the skin as well. I will say that if you can have one that has shea butter specifically is supposed to help with keeping that elasticity in the skin and really helping that stretch. This one specifically is just coconut oil. I've tried a lot of different ones, and I actually have like a whole routine I go through, so maybe I might make a video of just kind of like preventing stretch marks, and kind of the routine that I do and the products that I use. Some of them are DIY, and some of them I've really fallen in love with, that I've found all natural and fragrance free, or free of any fragrance, because there can be a ton of hidden chemicals in there. I will say though, for stretch marks, that unfortunately they're genetic, and if you're meant to get stretch marks, you're probably going to get stretch marks. I didn't think that I got them with my son, and I think it was up until at the very end. It was just exhausting to drink all the water, and it was just exhausting to have to put all these oils on my huge belly, and so I really got kind of lazy about it towards the end. And then after I had him and everything was kind of going back down, I realized that I had developed stretch marks around my belly button and then kind of underneath there. So this time around, I've been really proactive about making sure that I keep my skin in tip-top condition and just not have any added stretch marks, or to kind of increase the color of the stretch marks. Mine, for the most part, were really pale, so I was lucky in that regard. But you'll notice if you do develop them, they can be really dark in color. So just trying to keep your skin in tip-top condition. We pay so much attention to our face that we really need to take care of the rest of our body. So I'll probably just go ahead and make one, because I think that there's a lot to talk about there, and obviously I'm a product junkie, so I have a lot to say. Something else that I used in both pregnancies, I'm still currently using, I had a lot of heartburn with my son Dalton, and nobody told me that the whole myth of, if you have a lot of heartburn, your baby's going to come out with a lot of hair. I'd never heard that before. I just started experiencing heartburn, and I'd never had heartburn before in my life outside of pregnancy. So I was like, what is this? But once he was born, he had a ton of hair, and all of the nurses were like, oh, you must have had tons of heartburn. I was like, I wish somebody would have told me that. So this time around, and in the first one as well, Tums. Just taking Tums. Mine's not, I know that there's a lot of women that have indigestion just continuously. It's chronic, it's constant. And for that, you need to take some sort of supplement. I heard that papaya extract is really helpful. I know that Young Living makes a supplement that's supposed to be amazing for heartburn. I just haven't felt that mine was chronic enough. It was kind of here and there and sporadically, especially in this pregnancy. I think it's been a little bit less, but that was over 2 years ago, so I have trouble remembering that anyway. So I just stick with the Tums. They don't taste terrible to me. I know some people talk about the chalky ones, and then even the little chewy bites, those are kind of more like candy even. So yeah, Tums are great, and definitely rely on them for both pregnancies. Something else I think all pregnant women should just go ahead and get are maternity bras. And maternity, nursing bras, whatever you want to call them. Your boobs are growing so much and changing so much over this, really, depending on how long you nurse. It could be over a year or more. that your breasts are really growing and changing, and that can be really uncomfortable and extremely expensive. So if you're just buying, you know, like regular bras to kind of size up during pregnancy and then, you know, size down. So I actually need to buy new ones for this time around. These are my old ones and they need to be refreshed. This was one, I actually have really large breasts and they're pretty heavy, so I need a lot of support. Sorry if TMI, but we're talking about pregnancy must-haves, so we're going to be sharing a whole lot here. This one is by Bravado, and this is a really popular brand, and I actually really like this. It's got a strap, hook and eye, but no underwire, because I find that underwire, although it gives me the most support, it can be really uncomfortable during pregnancy, and then also trying to nurse. Once I went back to work and I was just pumping at work, I did have the underwire nursing bras that I could have at work, just because it gave me more support. But if you're just around the house running errands, these are great. I know that a lot of women can there's some on Amazon, you can get like a pack of 4, and they, you know, they rave about them. I just personally haven't gotten them. I might try them this time around just to see if they work for me, because pregnancy and motherhood is all about trial and error, and what works for someone might not work for someone else. So you really just have to try it out and see what works for you. I have had the ones, like the sleeping ones, that are just kind of like crisscross, and they're great to sleep in, but for every day, or, you know, if I'm running errands, they don't provide me with the kind of like support that I'm looking for. But yeah, go ahead and get your maternity bras. Go ahead and get your nursing bras. Like, you're going to be wearing them. So, you know, you might as well go ahead and start now and be comfortable while you're pregnant. You're already uncomfortable. There's so much going on. Be comfortable. So also along the lines of support, I didn't really think about this the first time around, but in your second or third, when you become pregnant multiple times, they'll tell you, like, you just wake up one day and you're pregnant. I mean, the bump is there. And it did happen for me. I mean, I started showing so much faster this time around than I did with my son, because your uterus is already stretched out. Like, your body just knows what it's doing. Like, it just starts like going through the motions. Okay, yeah, I know how to do this. I know how to, you know, so you hold on to a belly a lot more. And, you know, if you think about like stretch marks and just like gravity and trying to like your abs trying to like hold that up while they're also like trying to stretch out and give way, you know, it's a lot. So belly bands, any kind of support for the belly. This is pretty just a generic one. I think I got this from one of my friends, sent this to me. This is just from a Pea in a Pod. I mean, this is just like your basic standard one, and this can be one that you kind of start off with, but it also just kind of like keeps you in, keeps you feeling secure. You know, if you're wearing any kind of like loose dress and you don't have that added support, these are always wonderful to have. This is another type of support. This is a support tank. So it just goes under your bra there, and then it has room for your belly. And then it also has some cross patterns in the back to support your back. So this is like all over support for your belly and your back. This is by the company Blanqui. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I love all of their stuff. They have great maternity and postpartum gear. So really love this company. I know that they do sales every once in a while. I know that they do them during Mother's Day, and then they'll also do them during like National Breastfeeding Week that we just had, and they'll go like up to 50% off. So that's really good time to get some. And speaking of support, every mom should have maternity leggings. I don't know how people survive without them. Maternity leggings are amazing. These are actually by the same brand, that Blanqui brand, and these are really just structured, but they're also really stretchy. I feel like super held together in them and just really confident, but they also have that little space for your belly. So they go all the way up, and they have like space for your belly. so you don't have to worry about like your shirt flying up or anything like that. These are fantastic. They also have postpartum nursing leggings. I have a couple of pairs of those. I've got 2 of their maternity and then 2 of the postpartums, and I actually wear both of these postpartum, these early on in the beginning, and then once I really want to kind of tighten everything in after the first week or 2, I'll transition to the postpartum nursing ones. These are my favorite brand. I absolutely love them. Something else that had to go on my must-have list were a pair of maternity jeans. Now, maternity jeans we know can be pretty pricey. These weren't too bad. These are Ann Taylor Loft Maternity, and I believe I got them on sale because Loft and Ann Taylor, they always have sales going on, and I really like these. I like the color of them. I actually can wear these to work on like casual Fridays, but I mean, they're jeans. I mean, how you wear jeans all the time, and then, you know, just your whole 9 months, you're not going to wear jeans. These also have the full, I like the full band because I feel like it gives me support without having to have the belly band and your maternity pants. So I like the full band on these, and I wear these postpartum as well because you'll need a little time to go down. You know, you don't have to worry about rushing it. You have these, you know, wear them, get your use out of them. And then also there are, you know, like Thread Up. You can go on Thread Up and they carry all of your kind of like name brand designer at, you know, discounted prices. And then I find a lot too, you know, thrift stores will have them. Everyone's trying to, you know, do their part to help the planet and reuse, renew, recycle, and you can find a lot of maternity gear at thrift stores and Goodwill as well. Something that I definitely struggled with in both pregnancies was my sleeping habits. I had a really hard time sleeping, staying asleep, and I think that kind of goes for everybody. Not just the getting up at night to have to go to the bathroom, because that starts to happen in your 2nd and 3rd trimester, the frequency of it, but just being comfortable. You know, you have to lay on your side, and so you're just kind of like tossing and turning from side to side. So something that I think is great to have even in the beginning is one of those wedge pillows. I know Bobby makes like a wedge. I never got one just because I would just wedge a pillow there, and then I immediately graduated very early on to the huge Snuggle. I absolutely love this thing. This is amazing. This is like a whole nother person in our bed. But it's really great because you can wrap it around you, you can put it up by your head, you pull it in between your legs, and then this part goes under your tummy. A lot of times too, I would use it postpartum. So I would wrap it up in a ball and I'd be able to sit on it, and it was really helpful, just kind of like healing, and everything's really sore. And then I also didn't have a true like glider to be able to breastfeed in, so I did a lot of breastfeeding in my bed. And this was really great to be able to help prop me up in the right way so I could put on my nursing pillow and nurse Dalton as well. So yeah, I love the Snuggle. It's amazing. This is our last go around with it, so I'll have to give it on to a home that will love it just as much. But I have a pregnant sister, so I have an idea of where it's going. Something else that has really been able to help me with my sleeping is diffusing essential oils and then also rolling them on, making a little rollerball and rolling them on with some carrier oil. Everything is kind of like based on lavender, and then I'll add some others in there. Frankincense is one that's really grounding, and then also I like to add Roman chamomile. That's a really wonderful to have to just really help with sleep and help support that sleep and help you stay asleep. There's a lot of diffusers out there that can go on a timer, so you can have them last for 8-10 hours, however as long. But what really changed it for me was making the rollerball. I put a bunch of different essential oils in here that help support sleep, and then just added a little fractionated coconut oil and made a rollerball out of it. I'll put this on the bottoms of my feet every night and then down my lower spine, and then also sometimes just behind my ears on my neck, so I can really get that smell. But it's definitely diluted with carrier oil, so you want to be careful. And also consult your doctor on, you know, any kind of essential oil that you're using. You know, a lot of people are timid of them, especially during pregnancy, but I trust my source, and the company that I use, Young Living, is completely transparent, so I have no qualms about using them, and I feel completely confident for me personally, but also, you know, consult the people that are important to you, and also your doctor. Anytime that you're taking anything new during pregnancy and you're concerned about it, you should ask your doctor. Something else that I picked up in the 3rd trimester is drinking red raspberry leaf tea. This is actually just loose leaf tea that I have gotten off of Amazon. You can buy it in bulk, and I will make multiple cups in one setting and then just put it in the fridge and keep it cold because it is the summertime. And just some iced red raspberry leaf tea has been really wonderful. This has said to really help just the, sorry, can't talk, pregnancy brain. Just really help with the uterus and prepping it for birth. This is beneficial for women in general. Also during their menstrual cycle, I've heard that it really kind of helps, and it just gives a lot of support to your uterus. If you see like packaged like pregnancy tea, red raspberry leaf is always one of the biggest ingredients in there. And then the latest thing that I've picked up in my 3rd trimester is a perineal spray. This is a soothing spray. This one is Clariderm by Young Living. This one's new to me this year, and it is amazing. It feels so cooling and just refreshing to spray on you. Like, I'll use it a couple of times a day. You can really wait until your 35th week if you want to, but I'll just use it a couple of times a day after I've used the restroom or when I can remember it. And it also has kind of like a little bit of a numbing effect too. So this is something that I'll be using post-delivery in place of, the hospital always gives you like that Dermaplast stuff, which I'm sure is filled with tons of chemicals. So this time around, I'll be using that Clariderm, so I'll have to let you know how it goes. But just how it feels now, I know it's going to be super beneficial postpartum. There's also this one by Earth Mama Angel Baby. I used this last time around. This is called their New Mama Bottom Spray. This is also, you can use this during pregnancy and postpartum, and this one was lovely. I just am really excited about the quality of essential oils in this one. So yeah, that's the latest that I've added to my pregnancy routine. And those are all of my pregnancy must-haves. If you have anything else to add to this list, please make sure to mention them in the comments below, because if there's anybody watching, I know that they'll find that super helpful. Or if you've used any of these items that I've talked about here, let us know that as well. If you want to follow along on my pregnancy, like I said, I'm 33 weeks now. Baby girl is due September 21st. It's her due date. You can always find me over on Instagram at @thisCorbettLife. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'd love to have you along. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.